Greetings, Bat fans. It's me, Andy DiGenova, host of Holy Batcast, the audio podcast. Hopefully, you already listened to the audio podcast. If you don't, and you love Batman talk, all things Batman, movies, comic books, video games, toys, whatever, philosophical conundrums about the history of our favorite fictional character, Batman, check it out. Holy Batcast, wherever you find podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, Podkicker, etc. Wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find Holy Batcast there. Check that out. Would really appreciate that. Also, if you're watching this video, thank you for clicking. Appreciate it. And also, if you love Batman Talk, make sure that you subscribe to this, the YouTube channel of Holy Batcast. So just click below, subscribe, please. Much appreciated. I am repping Nightwing, the one and only Dick Grayson today, because what I want to talk to you about today is Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Of course, it's what we're all talking about, but specifically to talk about the fact that over the almost 3 years of build-up to this film, there were so many rumors and speculation of things that were going to be in this movie. We know they were going to be in this movie, and now it's kind of fun to look back after we've seen the film numerous times, probably, what panned out and what didn't. Specifically, what didn't. We all know what panned out because we kind of learned that as we went. But there were tons of rumors that were out there that people talked about that never came to pass, which was kind of fun when watching the movie of being like, oh, that was BS. That didn't happen. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to count down 10 rumors from Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice that were complete and total BS. Okay? So let me get my list here so we know what we're talking about. Number 1. The first one, kind of a big one actually, as it turns out. This is the fact that moving in, we knew that this was going to be an older, more seasoned Batman. But there were rumors very early on that this Batman is not only older, but he is actually retired. Because there was obviously a lot of inspiration taking from Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, where Batman is indeed retired, there were rumors flying that this Bruce Wayne has retired from being Batman, but he patrols Gotham with bat drones. Do you remember this? This was pretty early on. I never liked this rumor. I kind of hated it because if you listen to the podcast or you've listened to me talk about Batman before, I've always wanted to see Batman in his prime. For me, a retired Batman is not a Batman in his prime. So I didn't like the idea of him being completely out of the game, and I really didn't like the idea of him sitting in the Batcave as like a recluse, piloting drones around the city to do Batman's job for him. I thought that was a really weird idea. BS. I don't know if my editor's going to put a big BS thing, but he should. If he doesn't, just imagine a big red BS. Didn't come to pass. Of course, this is an older Batman. We find out in the course of the film that he's been in Gotham fighting crime for 20 years. But for all intents and purposes and everything that we see in the film, he is still very much an active Batman. And if you ask me, still very much a Batman in his prime, which is why I was so happy with the portrayal of Batman Bruce Wayne in this film. So no retired Batman, no drones. Moving forward, number 9. We knew Aquaman was going to be in the film, right? There are Aquaman action figures right here. I got Aquaman right here. And I have another one back here. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably out of frame. But anyway, there's Aquaman action figures. There was the big reveal poster picture of Jason Momoa as Aquaman. Jason Momoa was spotted on set. We know he was going to be in the film. The rumor came to be that the reason or how he is in the film is that the fact that Batman was going to break into LexCorp. Turns out that was true. He did do that. He broke into LexCorp to get kryptonite. But when he broke into LexCorp, apparently there was going to be a big water tank, and Aquaman was a captive in this water tank, and Batman was going to see him. BS. Didn't happen. So as we now know, what we get is instead we get this research footage that Lex Luthor has been doing on all these metahumans out there. That's how we meet Aquaman. He's not actually woven into the narrative of the film. He's not captive of Lex Luthor. He's not in a tank. There was another rumor that because he was captured that Amanda Waller was going to have his trident in Suicide Squad because she was somehow working with Lex. Since he's not a captive, I have to imagine that that is also not true, especially because in this film, Aquaman had his trident. It was, he already had it. So we instead see that he has been researched and he is out there in the ocean somewhere. He was not Lex Luthor's captive. Also, the fact that we thought maybe he was going to play a much bigger role in this film. Nope, they just liked making Jason Momoa action figures, so people like me, and probably you, would buy them, which we have. So I have some Aquaman stuff, but unfortunately he's only in the movie for like 4 seconds. 5 seconds. It's cool, but it's just a few seconds, and it is not as Lex Luthor's captive. Number eight rumor. We knew that Scoot McNairy was going to be in the film. He had an undisclosed role for much of the production of the film, actually for all of the production. We didn't find out who he was until we saw the film. He had been spotted on set with green socks, like from the knee down. Now, lots of speculation over. Originally, people said that they thought he was going to be the Flash. I guess because there's something going on with his legs, but it didn't make much sense that they would only green screen the bottom of his legs. Seemed a pretty safe bet that this was going to be a guy who had no legs. That obviously turned out to be true. But the most prevalent rumor was that he was in fact going to be Jimmy Olsen, who was injured in the Battle of Metropolis. Another supporting rumor to that rumor was that he was Jimmy Olsen, but he was writing a blog about Superman. Not true. He was not also playing Jimmy Olsen. He was playing Wallace, a Wayne Enterprises, a Wayne Enterprises employee who was injured in the Battle of Metropolis. That was true, but it wasn't Jimmy Olsen. That one I'm going to take a little credit for, if you'll allow me, because from the moment people said he was Jimmy Olsen, I never bought it. I never did, because he was so old. He's not old, but Jimmy Olsen is usually young, like in his early 20s, and Scoot seems to be in his late 30s, early 40s. I just didn't buy it. I was like, no, he's probably someone else. I guessed that he could be John Corbin, Metallo. That didn't turn out to be true either. Some people said that was a rumor. I don't think that was a rumor. I think that was just speculation, and I was absolutely guilty of that speculation. But instead, he is Wallace. He is a tool that Lex Luthor uses in his anti-Superman crusade. He was not Jimmy Olsen. And now we know Jimmy Olsen did make, apparently, a very quick appearance in the film at the beginning of the film. So, however you feel about that, he wasn't played by Scoot McNairy. So there you go, old Scoot. Moving forward, right around some of those rumored actors and roles. On the cast list for months, a year, has been a guy named Dan Ambroyer. I think I'm saying it right. And it said like drone pilot, or fighter pilot, or jet pilot. I forget exactly what it said. The point is, it was a very generic pilot thing, and people looked him up, and he looked a hell of a lot like Hal Jordan. And so all of a sudden, these rumors kept flying that, oh, we are going to meet Hal Jordan in BVS. It's going to be played by this Dan Ambroyer, who looks exactly like Hal Jordan, and that's going to be setting up Green Lantern for the future. BS. Didn't happen. If Dan Ambroyer is in the film, I did not see him. Maybe he was flying one of those planes that went after Doomsday, maybe, and he was wearing a helmet and we never saw him. But it seemed like he even kind of fed into this rumor a little bit by posting things on his social media that were Green Lantern related. And I don't know if he was, he's getting press, so good for him. That works out. But no, he was not playing Hal Jordan. If he's in the film, I missed him. You could blink and you miss him. So Dan Ambroyer, apparently not Hal Jordan, and we have still not met Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart or Kyle Rayner or Guy Gardner in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So we just have to keep waiting to see what is going to happen with Green Lantern in this universe. But for now, we know that wasn't Hal. All right, moving on. This is number 6. Hold on one sec. Number 6. Now, one rumor that turned out to be true was that there was a Robin costume on display in the Batcave. We learned about that pretty early on because it was in the Comic-Con trailer, and it was awesome, and we all lost our collective minds, and we love that. We love that history with this Batman. We think it's cool. Ha ha ha, the joke's on you, Batman, scrawled across it. Really cool. Because of that, because we knew that that was confirmed, we thought that we might get a flashback of the death of Robin. And, there were rumors that Zack Snyder's son, Eli Snyder, was going to be playing Robin. There were rumors that we would just see the back of Robin and not exactly who it was. There were even rumors from this infamous Reddit review, which now we can completely confirm was complete BS, but hey, the random guy got press and he got some traction online, but he made it up because he said as well that there was going to be a flashback of the Joker killing Robin. Turns out they don't even address it in the film. They don't tell you which Robin it is. I still say it's Jason Todd, but they don't say it. They don't mention it by name. They don't say the name Robin. They don't say the name Joker. It is just the glance of Bruce Wayne looking at the suit that you see in the trailer. So that's it. No Robin flashback, no Joker flashback. I guess we'll either have to wait to see that or we won't see it. Some people are still saying it could be in the extended cut. I highly doubt it. I think that there's a lot in the extended cut. I don't think that's it. So we'll see, but no flashback for the death of Robin. Moving on to number 5. Yeah, number 5. I should have numbered them instead of just using bullets. That would have been better. Number 5 is the fact that Bizarro is in the film. BS. Bizarro's not in the film. You know that. You've seen the film. When Doomsday was revealed, a lot of people said, oh, there's more going on here. Or even a lot of the shots throughout the trailers and things where Superman is looking particularly angry, or it looks as if Lex is controlling him. People are like, what is going on there? And so they often jumped to the conclusion that there could be Bizarro. And there was also kind of this added little piece that Lego had like an evil Superman little figure. So they had Superman and they had like evil Superman, and people were like, oh my god, it's Bizarro, what's going on? No Bizarro in the film. I think it would be too much, honestly. I don't know where he would have fit in it. It's a 2.5-hour movie. No second is wasted. And then we know there's at least another 30 minutes sitting on the cutting room floor. Not really. There's not really a cutting room floor anymore, but you know what I mean. Metaphorically speaking. He wouldn't have fit. But I think people were just, people were having fun speculating of all these things that could possibly be in the film. Bizarro was one of them, not in the film. Moving forward, number 4, one of the rumors that has been debunked recently, because it's not even addressed in the film, is that Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, is in fact dead. So this was another rumor I hated. Didn't like it at all, because again, like if you're going to build this new cinematic Batman, he needs a Jim Gordon. That's part of the story. That's part of the mythos. And if we're going to jump in where there is no Jim Gordon, like that sucks. I don't want that. So if we were just going by the movie, it could have been anything. Like Jim Gordon could be alive or dead, retired or working. We have no idea. Because they never actually refer to it in the film. But the fact that they just cast J.K. Simmons to play Commissioner Gordon in the Justice League film means that Commissioner Gordon is alive and well, which makes me very happy. That's very good to hear. I do think this might be addressed in the extended cut. Because we know that Jenna Malone is in the extended cut, and all signs point to her being Barbara Gordon, so it would make perfect sense for her to make a remark about her dad. So I think we're going to learn. We're going to find out. But Jim Gordon, not dead. Thank you, Jim Gordon. Lives to fight another day. Made me a very happy Bat fan. Glad that was false. Moving on to number 3. This was a big one because I did, a couple months ago, I did a toy unboxing video. If you haven't watched it, you can find it. It's under there. And I was so careful about a potential spoiler that was in the toys. And that is this guy right here, because I don't have to worry about spoilers anymore. Power Suit Lex. There were multiple toys with Power Suit Lex Luthor. BS. Wasn't in the movie. In fact, it's, this is bald Lex Luthor. He doesn't even get bald till the last 2 minutes of the movie, which I don't like. I think he should have been bald earlier, but what are you going to do? That's just me being a nerd. So yeah, Power Suit Lex. Apparently, I think what happened was either, because this happens, this is sometimes the toy companies get a version of the script or a rundown of the film very early on so they can start creating the toys. And then as the film changes, sometimes the toys, it's too late to change them. So it is absolutely possible that a Power Suit Lex was in the film at some point. Maybe not even shot, but maybe it was part of the film when they did that, when they did the presentation to get the toys created. And then eventually they cut it, and at that point the toy was already happening, and they're like, whatever, we'll just go with it. That happened with Jurassic World too. If you look at some of those toys, you're like, what the hell was that thing? It was originally supposed to be in the film, and then it got cut, and by that time it was too late. Toys were already getting made. That could have happened with Lex right here. The other possibility is just the fact that a little kid doesn't want to play with Lex Luthor in a sport coat and sneakers, and that's boring for little kids to play with, and so they just took the inspiration from the comic books, put him in the power suit, because that's more fun for kids to bash around with Superman and Batman. Probably the most likely scenario. So those of us who are excited about the potential of seeing Power Suit Lex after all these years, we just have to keep waiting. Not gonna didn't happen in this film. Could possibly happen in a future film, but for this one, for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, that rumor debunked. All right, moving on to number 2. This rumor came from that Reddit review, and like I said, we've already learned that it's BS. Sorry. Anyway, but I read it, my bad. I read it on Reddit, my bad. But it said that the end of the film, the climax of the film, is actually the Justice League together, united, fighting against not just Doomsday, but an army of Lex Luthor's military drones. What's it with drones? Everybody's got to have drones. It's like the buzzword. Come on, drones everywhere. Relax. That was the rumor. The Justice League was actually going to be united in this film and fighting an army of drones in the final battle. BS, didn't happen. The Justice League were not united in this. It was indeed the Trinity versus Doomsday, which is what we expected. So this other rumor out there I always thought was somewhat unlikely, but it still got a little bit of traction. People thought we were getting the entire Justice League. Nope. Gotta wait for Justice League next year to actually see that, so not in this film. And then finally, the number 1 rumor, and this actually goes right in line with what we just talked about, was not that the Justice League was going to be a part of the final battle, but that the film would conclude with a montage of the Justice League united and fighting, much like the opening credits to Watchmen with the old school Watchmen or Minutemen, through the years, kind of an ending of the Justice League montage like that. I love that idea. I thought that would have been awesome and badass, and I'd have been all for it. But unfortunately, as we learned as we saw the film, BS. Didn't happen. That's not what happens in the film. The film ends with, again, the Trinity defeating Doomsday. Some very sad moments after that. And then with the decision by Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince to go out and find the rest of the metahumans to unite the 7, but they are never united in this film, either in the final battle or in some sort of montage. Cool idea. Whoever threw it out there, I like the idea. Unfortunately, that's all it was. It was a rumor that turned out to be false. Debunked. So there you go. Lots of different rumors that were out there for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice before we saw the film. So it is always kind of interesting to look back and see what panned out, what didn't. If all these rumors had panned out, could you imagine how chock full this movie would be? It's already full enough. Again, it's 2.5 hours and it's full. It's packed. Some people say too packed. So it's probably for the best that a lot of these rumors did not pan out and did not turn up in the film. But it also gives us lots of great places to go with the future of the DC Extended Universe. So what about you guys? What were some of your favorite rumors around Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice that turned out to be BS, or ones that you loved that turned out to be true, like the fact that Zod's body became Doomsday, or the fact that there was that Robin symbol, or the fact that the Flash shows up in a cameo from the future? Maybe, probably, I think so. Crazy stuff going on in this film. Lots of crazy stuff in the film, and then lots of crazy stuff that was guessed that did not make it into the film, either because it was never part of it, or which is probably the most likely, or it just didn't make the final cut. So there you go. Lots to talk about and speculate around Batman v Superman and the DC Extended Universe. Thanks so much for watching this. As always, I am Andy DiGenova. If you'd like to follow me, that is not always Batman related. You can follow me on Twitter or on Instagram just by searching my name, Andy DiGenova. If you want to follow Holy Batcast, you can do that. Just go on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And then here on YouTube, Holy Batcast, we are everywhere. And again, please subscribe to this channel because we're trying to give you more and more Batman talk as much as possible. So you don't want to miss any of it, or if you do, don't tell me. And just subscribe, and then again, like I always say in the podcast, just like Michael Keaton's Batman said, I want you to tell all your friends about me. So if you know other fellow Bat fans who can't get enough Batman talk, let them know about Holy Batcast, the audio podcast, or these videos, and that would be awesome. So again, follow us everywhere, but that is where we'll wrap it up. I'll be back soon, probably next week with another video. Let me know what you want to hear, what we want to talk about, and we'll get that done for you. So hope you all have a great week. We will talk to you soon. This is Andy DiGenova, and this has been Holy Batcast.
I love this guy.
Not good.